Hey everyone, today's video is about when you find out that they cheated on you. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Let's get going. Bakugou Katsuki. Bakugou walked through the door of your shared apartment. His shoulders slumped, and his expression grim. You could tell that from his demeanor that something was wrong, but you didn't want to jump to conclusions. Hey, Bakugou. Rough day at work? You asked, trying to keep your tone light. Bakugou didn't answer right away. Instead, he walked over to the couch and slumped down, his face buried in his hands. You could hear the sound of his heavy breathing, and you knew that he was struggling to keep his emotions in check. Bakugou, what's going on? You asked, feeling a growing sense of concern. Finally, Bakugou looked at you, his eyes red and puffy. I need to talk to you, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. It's important. You could feel your heart pounding in your chest as you sat down next to him on the couch. You could sense that something was seriously wrong, and you braced yourself for whatever was coming. I've been cheating on you, Bakugou said, his voice barely audible. I'm so sorry, man. I never meant to hurt you, but I've been seeing someone else behind your back. You felt like the wind has been knocked out of you. This was not what you had been expecting, and the realization hit you like a ton of bricks. You had always trusted Bakugou, and the thought that he could betray you like this was almost too much to bear. How long has this been going on? You asked, your voice barely above a whisper. A few months, Bakugou said, his voice filled with shame. I never meant for it to get this far, but I couldn't help myself. I know that I've messed up, and I don't expect you to forgive me, but I had to tell you the truth. Tears streamed down your face as you realized the full extent of Bakugou's betrayal. You had invested so much time and energy into your relationship, and now it seemed like it was all for nothing. I can't even look at you now, you said, your voice shaking with anger and hurt. How could you do this to me? How could you throw everything that we had? I don't have an excuse, Bakugou said, his voice low. I was weak, and I gave in to temptation. But I never stopped loving you. Why? I just didn't know how to deal with my own emotions. That's not good enough, you said, your voice cold and distant. I trusted you, Bakugou, and you broke that trust. Bakugou hung his head in shame, knowing that there was nothing that he could do or say to make things right again. He had destroyed the one thing that mattered to him, and he didn't know how to fix it. In the end, you broke up with him. You couldn't bear the thought of being with someone who had betrayed you in such a disgusting way, and you knew that you could never fully trust him again. It was a really painful decision, and it took a long time for you to heal from the hurt and betrayal that Bakugou had caused. But in the end, you knew that you made the right choice for yourself, even if it meant letting go of someone that you had once loved so deeply. Todoroki shouto. Todoroki walked into the bedroom, and his demeanor made it clear that something was bothering him. He sat down next to you, on the bed, looking at his hands, as if he didn't know how to begin. Is everything okay, Todoroki? You asked, placing a hand on his shoulder. He looked up at you, and his eyes were filled with a mix of guilt and sadness. I need to tell you something. His voice low and hesitant. Your heart sank as you sensed what was coming. looked like a serious conversation to you. Serious conversations with Todoroki were never good. What is it? You asked, already bracing yourself for the worst. I've been unfaithful to you. Todoroki admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. I've been seeing someone behind your back, and I don't know how to make things right. Your word came crashing down at his words. You had never imagined that Todoroki would do something like this, and the pain was almost too much to bear. How long has this been going on? You asked, your voice shaking with hurt and anger. A few months, he said, his voice filled with shame. I never meant for it to happen, but I couldn't help myself. And now I've hurt you. You didn't know what to say. The thought of being with someone who had cheated on you is almost too much to bear. How could you do this to me? You asked, tears streaming down your face. I thought that you loved me. I do love you, Todoroki said, his own eyes filled with tears. But I messed up. I'm sorry. The pain in his voice only made things worse. You knew that you could never forgive him for what he had done, and the thought of being with him made you sick to your stomach. I can't be with you, Todoroki, you said, your voice barely above whisper. I can't trust you anymore. Not after what you did. We can't even be friends. I'm sorry. Todoroki nodded, his eyes still filled with tears, and there were even tears streaming down his own face. I understand, he said, his voice breaking. I'll do whatever it takes to make things right. But you knew that it was too late already. The trust that you had once shared with Todoroki was gone, and you couldn't ever imagine feeling the same way about him ever again. In the end, you made the difficult decision to end things with Todoroki. It was a painful and heartbreaking experience, but you knew that it was the only way to move forward and find someone who would never betray your trust in the same way as Todoroki did. He cheated on you with someone from work. How bad was that? You couldn't even imagine looking at him without feeling that betrayal again. You hated him now, and you will never think the same way about him ever again. Not now, not ever. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Goodbye!